If you have ever been in the zone, you know the feeling. It starts at 8 p.m. You just want to fix one small bug. You put on your headphones, play some lofa beats, and start typing. Suddenly, it's 3 a.m. Your eyes are dry, your back hurts, and you have written 500 lines of code. You feel like a god. You feel productive. But then the sun comes up. You are still coding. You haven't eaten, you haven't slept, and you look at the code you wrote in the last 4 hours. It's garbage. It's spaghetti. It's unreadable nonsense that barely works. You realize that you didn't just waste your night. You created technical debt that will take days to fix. This is the grindset trap. We glorify the idea of the 10x developer who codes for 24 hours straight, fueled by Red Bull and obsession. But biologically, neurologically, and professionally, this is the worst way to work. Today, we are going to explore the science of sleep deprivation, the concept of diminishing returns in cognitive labor, and why the best code is written by people who actually sleep. To understand why coding for 24 hours is a disaster, we need to look at the brain. Coding is not physical labor like digging a ditch. If you dig a ditch for 24 hours, you get a very deep ditch. It might be crooked, but it's a ditch. Coding is knowledge work. It requires high-level cognitive function, logic, memory, pattern recognition, and abstraction. When you are sleep-deprived, these are the first functions to shut down. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for complex decision-making and impulse control, goes offline. You become essentially drunk. Studies have shown that being awake for 24 hours is cognitively equivalent to having a blood alcohol content back of 0.10%. That is legally too drunk to drive. Would you let a drunk person write your production database migration script? No. So why do you let yourself do it? The problem is metacognition. When you are tired, your ability to judge your own performance degrades. You think you are doing great work because your brain is too tired to realize you are making mistakes. You miss edge cases. You forget to handle errors. Let's talk about the bug cycle. When you code tired, you create bugs. That's inevitable. But because you are tired, you are also worse at debugging. You stare at the screen for an hour, trying to find a missing semicolon that a rested version of you would have spotted in 5 seconds. This frustration releases cortisol stress hormone, which makes you even more tired and less focused. It is a death spiral. You spend more time fixing the problems you just created than you spent writing the code in the first place. This creates negative productivity. In some cases, it would have been better if you hadn't worked at all. Deleting your tired code is often the first task of the next morning. Then there is the physical toll. Sitting in a chair for 24 hours destroys your body. Your posture collapses. Your circulation slows down, increasing the risk of deep vein thrombosis (DVT). Your eyes suffer from digital eye strain. Repetitive strain injury (RSI) in your wrists becomes a real threat. We treat our bodies like meat vehicles for our brains, but the brain needs the body to support it. If your back is screaming in pain, your brain cannot focus on the logic of a recursive function. You are fighting your own biology. Culturally, we need to kill the myth of the hero coder. The stereotype of the hacker who saves the company by pulling an all-nighter is toxic. It covers up bad management. If a project requires a 24-hour shift to meet a deadline, the project was managed poorly. It's not heroism, it's martyrdom for bad planning. Sustainable engineering requires rest. The best developers, I know the ones who actually build systems that last work 6 to 8 hours a day. They take breaks, they exercise, they sleep 8 hours, and in those 6 hours of focused, rested work, they produce more value than a grinder produces in a week of sleepless nights. There is also the concept of rich mode versus deep mode. Cal Newport talks about deep work. Deep work is intense concentration. Humans can only sustain deep work for about 4 hours a day. After that, your brain needs to recharge. You can do shallow work, answering emails, attending meetings for longer, but actual hard coding taps out quickly. pushing past that limit is just churning water. You are typing, but you aren't creating value. You are just creating motion. So, what should you do instead? Learn the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, rest for 5, or work for 90 minutes and take a 20-minute walk. Step away from the screen. Your brain solves problems in the background diffuse mode when you are not focusing on them. How many times have you been stuck on a bug for hours, given up, went to take a shower, and suddenly the solution popped into your head? That is the power of rest. Coding for 24 hours denies your brain the chance to use its background processing power. The bottom line is, code is a marathon, not a sprint. If you sprint for 24 hours, you will collapse before the finish line. You will burn out, you will hate programming, and you will write bad code. Respect your biology. Respect your craft. Sleep is not a waste of time. It is a performance-enhancing drug. Use it. If this reality check hit home for you, if you are currently watching this at 4 a.m. with red eyes, do yourself a favor, go to bed. The code will be there tomorrow, and you will be much better equipped to write it. Subscribe for more honest advice about the developer lifestyle. We prioritize longevity over hustle porn. Sleep well, code better.